So last night, you guys, on Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns did indeed return. There was like speculation of somebody that was in the back of a black SUV, and people said, hey, Roman Reigns is here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I was like, okay. And then of course, when Bronson Reed Bronson Reed was about to hit the tsunami on Jay and Jimmy to splat both of them at the same time. Roman Reigns song emerged, and that crowd went berserk. And I was like, God damn. I was like, Roman. At first, I didn't believe it, but you got these people out here that have these clear visions. So yeah, of course, he did return. He laid out Bronson Reed, laid him out with the chair and all that stuff, and he ended up jumping over like the Bronson Reed ended up jumping over the barricade. Braun Breaker, I think, got the worst of it, you guys, when it comes to the shirt. Now Roman didn't, acknowledge, didn't dap up, both of his cousins. He only dapped up Jay, and he was like, see what I told you. He was like, fuck everybody else, and it was a lot of stuff that he said, you guys. But anyway, that was just a short version of it. So with that being said, you guys, we ended up getting earlier in the show where Jimmy and Jay, they were pretty much talking to each other, and they were talking about like the world title thing and all that. And so after then, you guys, we end up seeing that that little handshake thing between the two last night. So it kind of made me wonder. I was like, okay, where are we going here? Is Jay is about to become the tribal chief of the family, and I'm wondering where is Roman going as the high chief? Well, I think that's The Rock as the high chief. But anyways, you guys, I'm wondering what is going on here. Where does Jimmy fall in line at, or whatever like that, you guys? So I'm very highly interested into the storyline. Of course, we got another storyline that is big as well, with Io Sky and Kairi Sane. But I just want to say the face paint under Dragon Lee, I can't tell if that was face paint or what, because like you can see like within the eyes, you guys, that thing look like some kind of like an iguana or some kind of lizard thing or something like by his eyes. And but that whoever created that, you guys, is definitely phenomenal. And I like this new side of Dragon Lee versus that that Dragon Lee that we first had when he made his main roster debut. Now, of course, we get the same thing from last week on Monday Night Raw, you guys, where Io Sky, ends up getting attacked. Well, Rhea got attacked first, and then Io Sky got missed it. And of course, Kairi saying, she is playing victim, like, hey, I really didn't do anything. She was like, she was overall telling Io, we still can be family. It's not too late and stuff like that. But of course, how Asuka is about other people going around Io Sky at the time. And of course, Rhea Ripley did start out the show, and she came out and she talked about how that's like her family, and families fight and so on and so forth. She was saying a lot of stuff, you guys. So it definitely definitely did kind of take a toll on Io per se. But with that being said, you guys, we also ended up getting it looks like we're going to get Rhea Ripley. Oh, it was made later on in the night where we're going to get Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the team of and then WWE decided to do like this little thing, like a little build up thing or whatever, and all that. But yeah, it was bad when Kairi saying that she got blasted with that mist, you guys, and it even got in her mouth. Like you can see like all of her teeth when she was like backstage and all. And then of course, Kairi Sane ended up giving Io the picture of all three of them. And of course, as you seen in the previous thing, where Asuka was saying, I taught you everything, and so on, and so on and so forth. So it'd be crazy if Io Sky turns on Rhea Ripley, at their match. Of course, Dominic Mysterio, you guys, put on a pretty cool match, with and everything, and it was actually pretty entertaining. So with that being said, guys, Dominic actually outsmarted Rusev, you guys, and so of course, you guys, Dominic was pretty cool to how he outsmarted Rusev and all, you guys. and he actually beat Rusev on his in his first match against him. Rusev was doing a little bit dominate throughout the match. Dominic got the title, tried to try to pretend you know so yeah, Rusev got Dominic actually low blowed Rusev with the back of his heel, you guys, and that was actually pretty funny. And then of course he rolled up Rusev on his first ever match. But with that being said, you can see how he stacked Rusev up, retained the Intercontinental Championship, and the crowd went crazy in Raleigh, North Carolina. So with that being said, you guys, who is next to face Dominic for that title? It was already said that Dominic will go 1-on-1. It's with Dragon Lee for the Intercontinental Championship. But yeah, more than likely, I think. But yes, you guys, Dominic did, like I said, outsmart Rusev. Like in his first match against Rusev, that got me by surprise. Of course, another Judgment Day member, Raquel Rodriguez, with pinning Bailey after hitting the Tahana Bomb. And I was like, okay, cool. But of course, numbers game happened. Of course, Lyra, she wanted to come out. She stopped herself. She's like, should I go help Bailey? I don't know. I think Bailey's going to yell at me or something like that. But of course, she runs down there anyway. She fights both Raquel and, fight Roxanne Perez, off from Bailey. And early in the night, we heard, heard from the Bird Lady or whatever. And, she said she wanted Bailey to, pretty much stay distance from Bailey. So, but of course, you guys, Bailey would definitely get mad, and her other persona would come out as she did see that Lyra Valkyria was getting beat down. And so after then, you guys, that's where Bailey ends up picking up Lyra. And Lyra's face looked so freaking funny right here, you guys. But Bailey like, come on, stupid. And I was like, oh, wow, that was pretty cool, you guys. But anyways, you guys, of course, as you seen right here, Lyra Valkyria and Bailey kind of, did their little handshake thing or whatever. And of course, they end up going out the ring. But it seems like anytime somebody messes with Lyra, that's where Bailey snaps, you guys. Of course, Cody Rhodes, he was waiting for his pyro, after he said, whoa, and then the fireworks go. He didn't get his fireworks at all. So I was like, okay, this is interesting here. And of course, he didn't get his other ones when he get up on the rope. But they did show the thing where it's the build up to Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins and, how it came about. Of course, when Cody returned, it's at WrestleMania a couple years back. Of course, Cody Rhodes would mention, who's running the vision and everything. He was like, is it Paul Heyman? And Seth was like, everything goes through me. So of course, that's where Cody was like, so everything goes to you. So you allow Paul Heyman to introduce Brock Lesnar, for his match when he fought John Cena. And then so that's where Seth Rollins, of course, as you say right here, everything goes through him. So, of course, you guys, I want to talk a little bit about what happened before the main event, which was Cody Rhodes. He was out there. Seth Rollins backstage, in a gorilla position, and said that he has to beat Cody Rhodes, and he had this puzzled face, like, I must beat him. Of course, LA Knight did have a match 1-on-1 against Kofi Kingston, something different for a change, but the match was made official earlier in the night, where the New Day interrupted LA Knight, while he was talking to Adam Pearce. So I think it was kind of like a way to get away from, New Day getting away from Penta, and also LA Knight getting away from the Usos, Braun Breaker, Bronx Reed, and all that stuff. But of course, you guys right here, like I said, LA Knight did win the match. I think he hit a BFT on him. But anyways, you guys, we did have a tag team match where we had two of the Los Americanos is what they're called. The two guys on the left and right. I forgot their names. I really don't care. All the one I know is Lugo Kaiser. That's El Grande Americano. But of course, they would be defeated by the newly formed team of Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. Of course, you guys, y'all did hear the news that AJ Styles will be retiring in 2026. And so that's gonna be very interesting right there. And AJ Styles, you know, he was like, well, I got a match, you know, at Clash in Paris too. You know, next weekend. He was like, well, thanks to you guys, I get to beat up John Cena. And so that was actually pretty cool, you guys, and we definitely got to be grateful, you know, for AJ Styles. With that being said, you guys, Tozawa ended up getting knocked out, but they didn't make a match official. I know it's kind of cut off for you guys, but we're gonna have Becky Lynch versus Becky Lynch versus, I don't forgot the lady name. Anyways, Maxine Dupree, that's who it was. Sorry. Of course, CM Punk will be on Raw next Monday night. You guys wonder what he's gonna have to say. Of course, I feel like AJ is gonna come and save Maxine Dupree, and then they'll set them a matchup with Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee, probably at not Clash in Paris, excuse me. Crown Jewel, excuse me. I don't know why I keep saying Clash in Paris. Crown Jewel. Well, I think they may sit the match up. But anyways, you guys, like, comment, subscribe to Chris Jones Reviews here on YouTube.com. I know this video was kind of long, you guys. Sorry for that, but I will be on my next video for